my chocolate lovers. Here are 2 recipes that you wish you've known sooner and you'll thank me for later. Let's make one of the healthiest and tastiest Powerball and chocolate bar recipes. Stay tuned. Hello, welcome to Nature to Tea, or welcome back, a channel where we talk about healthier options when it comes to your health, food, and beauty. I know the holidays are coming. I know a lot of people will be eating lots of chocolate, so I thought to share some amazing chocolate recipes using real cacao powder, which comes from the cacao bean. It is the main ingredient when it comes to chocolate.
Chocolate?
Chocolate?
Yes, sir! With or without nuts.
Chocolate! Chocolate!
The chocolate that we enjoy in our hot chocolate and the chocolate bars that we eat and anything chocolate that we consume. The cacao bean is what's used to produce chocolate. It is mainly grown in some countries in Central America, South America, and West Africa. Most of the world's cacao is produced in West Africa in countries like Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Cameroon. They produce between 60 to 70% of the world's chocolate. It comes from this cacao bean, which goes through a process of fermentation and roasting, which it turns into cacao powder. Cacao have been used by ancient Mayan and Aztecs for medicinal uses for centuries, and they called it foods of the gods. When you buy cacao, try to buy organic to avoid the pesticides and other chemicals that they use. When I buy it, I just pour it in a mason jar to keep it fresh. I believe I had this for 3 or 4 months now. You can buy the raw cacao powder in any natural grocery store. I believe even Walmart sells it, and you can also order it online. Just make sure that it's organic and it's 100% cacao powder. There are some cacao powder that are not organic and that are not 100% cacao, so just make sure you know the source that you are buying it from and that it is 100% cacao powder. Cacao in its raw form, it's very bitter, so you have to mix it in with other things like honey, dates, or any sweetener, as well as other ingredients to get the sweet, enjoyable chocolate taste that most people crave for. It's a very fine powder and it's kind of light brown. Once you mix it up with other ingredients, especially something with liquid, it will turn really dark. And because this is raw cacao, it is bitter, so you will have to mix in with the right ingredients as well as some kind of sweetener. Raw cacao can be bitter and not as tasty, so that's why a lot of chocolates have all these unnecessary sugars and ingredients that are bad for your health. You can make delicious chocolate using natural ingredients. In this video, I'm going to show you amazing recipes using real cacao powder and what to use to give it that sweet chocolate taste that most people desire using natural, healthy ingredients. Cacao powder is packed with flavonoids and antioxidants, which helps rejuvenate cells and protect your body against free radicals and cell damage. Cacao helps with lowering blood pressure, increases blood flow to the brain as well as your heart. Cacao also helps lower your LDL cholesterol, which is your bad cholesterol. It reduces inflammation, improves mood, as well as cognitive function, can help reduce the risk of dementia, and can help lower your blood pressure. There are many reasons why you should eat chocolate, especially with the upcoming winter. When it comes to chocolate, a lot of people are stuck on eating chocolates that are detrimental to your health. Ingredients that are inflammatory, like white sugar and other ultra-processed foods that are detrimental to your health. So in this video, I'm going to show you 2 of my favorite recipes using cacao powder to make delicious chocolate bars and chocolate power balls. My first recipe will be making these amazing power balls. Some of the ingredients I'll be using are nuts and seeds, as well as cacao powder, dates, and other ingredients I'll be talking about in a little bit. Now let's talk about some of the benefits of the ingredients I'll be using, starting with the pistachio nuts. Pistachios are high in vitamin B6, fiber, and it's a good source of magnesium as well as potassium. Now, walnut is one of the most powerful nuts when it comes to omega-3 fatty acids and antioxidants. It looks like a brain for a reason because it is great for the brain. Well, I'm not sure if there's a reason, but it is great for brain health, cognitive health. It is a great source of antioxidants. It is high in fiber. It is anti-inflammatory, which helps reduce inflammation all over the body, including the brain, which in turn helps reduce the risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. Eating walnuts is a great way to help rejuvenate cells as well as fight free radicals and reduce the risk of certain cancers. For this recipe, I am making about 5 to 6 servings of these Powerballs. So I am using half a cup of walnuts and then 1/3 of a cup of pistachio nuts. Next, I'm going to go ahead and blend this on pulse. You don't want it to be powdery, but more of a crush. Basically, trying to create this nutty crumb texture. Just enough so that there will be a little bit of crunch when it's done. All right, next is the chocolate phase, and depending on how bitter or less chocolatey you want this, you can use between half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of cacao powder. As I mentioned early in this video, cacao have so many amazing benefits, but I forgot to mention one more. It is great for anti-aging. So if you are interested in looking younger, cacao is one of the things, as well as nuts to include in your diet. For the dates, it also depends on how sweet you want it. So you can put between half a cup to 3/4 of a cup. And dates are a great natural sweetener. They're also high in fiber and help boost your energy levels. And I'm adding about half a cup of coconut milk, and I'll go ahead and blend this. And this is what it looks like when it's done blending. It's kind of like a pasty, creamy mix. And when I tasted this, I felt like it needed to be a little bit sweeter. So after I added some vanilla extract, I went ahead and add a little bit more date syrup. By the way, I do make my own date syrup. One of the recipes I have is on my TikTok, and I'll probably make a video on how to make date syrup on this channel. I like to add a pinch of salt when I make this recipe, and I am using pink Himalayan salt. And just go ahead and mix this up really well until everything is incorporated, and then you want to start pouring in the cacao a little bit at a time and mix well while you're pouring it in so that it doesn't clump up. One thing about making your own chocolate is that you can control the ingredients as well as how strong you want it and how sweet you want it. Once everything is mixed in well, you want to add the nuts and then go ahead and mix that in. Beside the main nuts that I add in this ingredient, I also like to add a little bit of pumpkin seeds. Or sometimes I use sunflower seeds, but either way, about 1/3 of a cup of that. And please do use a bigger spoon or spatula. It's just easier to mix. I just have a habit of forgetting my tools sometimes, and when I get the camera rolling, I just don't feel like stopping to go grab things. That's why I'm using this little tiny spoon. Now for the consistency, you want it pretty thick, but a little bit soft. So I went ahead, based on just how it feels, I went ahead and add the dot of the cacao that was left over. And just go ahead and blend in really well. Make sure everything is nice and incorporated. The next and fun part is the part that you get messy, and it's the part that you dip this mixture into the seeds and make them into round balls before you do that, of course. So I made this mixture of cacao dip, I suppose, just to wet the balls and make it easier for the coating seeds to adhere to these Powerballs to avoid contamination. I like to wear food gloves when I do this. For one, it gets a little messy, and secondly, and I'm using hemp seed as well as sesame seeds for my coating. The next step is to just make round, like medium-sized round balls, and just, roll it around, kind of like when you're making meatballs. And once it's nice and round, you want to go ahead and dip it in the sauce or chocolate dip, and then go ahead and roll it in whichever seeds or coating that you're choosing to use. I'm alternating between the hemp seed and the sesame seeds. And also I'm using this mini muffin pan to kind of hold them together and hopefully keep the coating on them. And with this, you can add more of the seeds that you're using as needed. And you just want to go ahead and roll all the balls in whatever seeds you're using. And then just have them sit on wherever. You can even put them in a parchment paper. It doesn't have to be anything like the muffin pan that I'm using. I just decided to use that because it was handy. This is optional, but if you want, you can put them in your fridge until they harden up some more. But either way, they're hard enough for me. But I put the remaining of it in the fridge so that they don't go bad. But these balls are so amazingly delicious, and not only are they delicious, but they are super healthy. Like, you would be insane if you are not eating the right chocolate for the right reason that provides more health benefits, and they're as delicious, if not better, than most chocolates. My next recipe is making chocolate bars, and I am using some leftover date pulp from the date syrup that I made. For this, you can use any nuts of your choice, but I'll be using, once again, the walnut as well as some sunflower seeds and some hemp seeds. So I just grab a handful of walnuts, and then I'm just using my hand to crush it and add it to the date pulp. Next, I add some coconut oil, sea salt, and a little bit of water, and then I'll add 3 tablespoons of the cacao powder. So now that I'm noticing that I need a little bit more liquid, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more water, maybe a tablespoon. You can always adjust the ingredients as needed. As you can see, I added a little bit more cacao. And because I used the pulp instead of the actual date, it's not as sweet. So after tasting it, I added a little bit more honey. Then at this point, you can go ahead and add your seeds, and I'm using sunflower seeds as well as pumpkin seeds, and then mix it in really well. Make sure everything is nice and incorporated. Then second to last step to this is to spread it on a parchment paper, and we want to get it as thinly of a layer as possible, and obviously not too thin because it'll probably break or crumble up. So you just want to go ahead and spread it so that it's thin but not too thin. And once everything is nicely spread it out, you can sprinkle some hemp seeds or any topping, crunchy topping of your choice. Here I'm just tapping it so that it sticks to the chocolate. And once everything is nicely ready, once everything is nice and ready,
I go ahead and place this in the freezer for about an hour until it's kind of hard or solid. And go ahead and cut it into bar-like shapes. And mine is not perfect and it doesn't have to be. But you want to go ahead and cut it in whatever shapes you like. So I'm just keeping it simple here. And this is another great way to incorporate chocolate, real chocolate, in your diet. You can eat this as a snack. You can eat it as a side dish or even for breakfast. Sometimes I eat this with my toast or whatever I'm having for breakfast. It is a great thing to have if you're a woman around your period. We need more nutrient dense foods like chocolate, nuts, seeds, and foods high in vitamin B6, B12, antioxidants, and so forth. And for the general public, this is a great food to have to help you with cognitive health as well as mood regulation, especially when it comes to wintertime, when people go through the winter blues sometimes, depending on where you live. Overall, these two recipes are amazing when it comes to antioxidants, anti-inflammatory, anti-aging, reducing anxiety, promoting a healthy brain, keeping you satiated, can help with weight management because it has healthy fats and they are both high in fiber. Anyway, I hope you try some of these recipes of both. Let me know in the comments below if you do. And if you did like this video or learn anything from it, please do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. It helps boost my algorithm so it can help people like myself that are inspiring and elevating and becoming a healthier version of themselves, learn amazing recipes, and hopefully become healthier. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day, night, evening, wherever you are. And I hope to catch you on my next video.